Hello, I'm Steve Shaw, National Coordinator of Football Officials and Secretary of Rules Editor for the NCAA. And today we're presenting our second media video of the 2022 season, and we're going to be focused on game action from Week 2. Now, we're still early, a small sample size of data with only 177 FBS games, but I wanted to share a few early season trends with you. First, in scoring. Our average points per game are 56.6, and that's up about 1.5 points over last year. And second, our average game time, we're averaging 3 hours and 24 minutes in FBS, and that's up about 6 minutes from last year, and we're going to keep a close eye on that. And then finally, targeting. We've had 37 targeting fouls. We've actually had 36 overturned by replay, but that averages out to 1 targeting foul in every 4.8 games. So that's actually a little bit below the run rate at this point last year. So that's a very good trend for our game. So with that, let's get on into some plays from this past week. Our first play this week, we're going to look at targeting. But before the play, a quick reminder of our rule change that was necessitated by a change in helmet design. The old crown was defined as the 360-degree area above where the face mask was bolted to the helmet. But with the new helmet design, you can see here with the integrated face mask, there's no place where the face mask is bolted in on the top of the helmet. So now the definition is the 6-inch radius from the top or the apex of the helmet. And this focuses the crown to the top of the helmet where we really want it to be. So as we look at our play, the offense is going to run a quarterback draw, and we see number 25 of the defense strikes the quarterback as he's still driving forward. And actually, the quarterback continues to move forward for about 5 yards. But the ruling on the field is targeting by number 25 of the defense. So obviously, replay is going to come in and take a look at this. And as they go through their process, first, we know that this is not a defenseless player. It is the quarterback, but he's still a runner. So the only potential targeting without a defenseless player is a targeting with the crown of the helmet. Now, we see an indicator by number 25 as he lowers his head and leads with the head. But as we continue to look at replays, this is not crown. With the new definition, this contact is with the side of the helmet and not with the crown of the helmet. So replay overturns this targeting. We support the call on the field here, and replay properly overturns this target. Play 2, we're going to look at the substitution process. But first, the umpire and referee are responsible to count the offense every down. And when we have 11 players on the field, each will signal to one another with a closed fist. Now we see the umpire here signal with both hands on the chest, open palms, exposing 10 fingers. And that indicates that the offense has only 10 players on the field. And as we see from our count, there are only 10 offensive players. Now, the offense recognizes this, and they're going to substitute number 86 late in the play clock. And we see the center judge is going to come back to the ball as 86 enters with about 7 seconds on the play clock. And then the referee is going to give the defense an opportunity to match up. And the defense decides to substitute here with about 5 seconds on the play clock. And it's apparent that the play clock is going to run out before the defense completes their substitution. So the offense is going to call timeout to avert the delay of game. But that's the risk the offense takes anytime that they substitute late in the play clock. This was properly handled by the crew. As we start into play 3, we see green, red, and blue signaling in the play with a black backdrop. I'm sure fans behind this don't love it, but there's no playing rule prohibiting this type backdrop. And really, tents, backdrops, etc. are all part of game management issues. Now, as we run the play, we get a long pass down the boundary, and the ruling on the field is a touchdown. As we go back and take a look, we see the receiver goes out of bounds, comes back in, reestablishes, and then catches the pass. And we see the side judge gets a hat down, and that's indicative that he sees the receiver has gone out of bounds. Now, if the receiver goes out of bounds on his own and returns in bounds and the first to touch a pass, it's a foul for illegal touching, which in this case carries a penalty of loss of down at the previous spot. But if the judgment is that the receiver is forced out of bounds due to contact by the opponent and he immediately returns and reestablishes in bounds, there's no foul, and that's what we see here. And as far as replay goes, in this situation, the replay official cannot rule on the severity of the contact, but if there's indisputable video evidence that there was no contact, then the play is reviewable. But in this situation, it was handled very well by the side judge and also the crew. Play 4, we're early in the first quarter, and we see the sideline urgently signaling to the defense. And as we look at the defense, we can tell why. There are 12 men on the field as we count them all up. Now, as the referee releases the center judge, we see number 6 of the defense. He goes down injured. It's a difficult situation. You can never tell definitively if and how a player is injured. And the officials properly stop the clock for an injury timeout here. And an injured player must be given full protection under the rules. So the defense avoids the illegal substitution penalty for 12 men on the field on this play. So I'll let you make the call on this. But so far, we've seen fewer of these type plays as we've started up our 2022 season. A good trend, and I hope it holds. Play 5 is 4th down from the 39-yard line, and the offense elects to punt. Now, the snap is high over the punter's head. The ball rolls all the way back into the end zone, and the punter just kicks the loose ball back through the end zone. Now, the result of the play is a safety. But we also see that the center judge threw a flag at the spot where 94 kicked the loose ball, and that's a foul for illegally kicking the ball. But since the foul occurred in the end zone, the penalty would also result in a safety, so this play is all very nice and neat. It's a safety. But what if the kicker had kicked the ball back through the end zone from the field of play, let's say the 2-yard line? The result of the play would have still been a safety, but the foul for illegally kicking the ball would have occurred in the field of play, and the penalty, half the distance to the goal, in this case, would be enforced from the spot of the foul. But it would also carry a loss of down, and since it was 4th down, if the defense accepted the penalty, it would be their ball, 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Interesting play, and the spot where the foul takes place is critically important. Our last play this week is an excellent play to review the rules around scrimmage kicks. So we're setting up for an extra point here, and the ball is going to be partially blocked at the line, but the ball continues on well past the neutral zone. And in fact, number 37 of the defense tries to catch the kick in the end zone, muffs the ball, it hits the ground in the end zone, but he recovers it and takes off for the opponent's goal line. And he scores for 2 points since this is a try. Now, is this a legal play? Now, the first point, if the defense blocks or partially blocks the kick within 3 yards of the neutral zone and the kick continues beyond the neutral zone, that touching is considered behind the neutral zone. That's important because if the kick touches the ground in the end zone and it's untouched beyond the neutral zone by the receiving team, it's declared dead at that point. But this play, number 37, touched the ball beyond the neutral zone, actually in the end zone, before it touched the ground in the end zone. So the ball remains alive, and it can be legally recovered by either team because of this touching before it hits in the end zone. So if the kicking team had recovered the ball in the end zone when it was loose, it would have been a touchdown or 2 points on a try. But here, the receivers recovered and advanced a legal play. Well, that's it for our plays this week, and we appreciate your time invested in watching this video. And as we know, the intensity will continue to pick up in our games as we move through the season, and it will just amplify these type plays, and we look forward to analyzing them with you. So best of luck to all this week, and stay safe and healthy.